One of the many discussions that are had between Snyder fans and regular DC fans and, well, fans and audience members all around are, what would have happened had James Gunn not gotten the reins to the DC Films universe? Like, what would have happened? I've talked about it actually just the other week on my live show. All of the broader strokes of what led to 2013's Man of Steel to going all the way to James Gunn taking over. But had James Gunn not been the man, had David Zaslav, the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery, not gone to James Gunn and Peter Safran and said, I want you guys to lead DC Studios, what could have happened? Well, one of those possibilities was this man right here, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. We talked about this a little bit last week. The Rock and his team at $7 Productions, they were trying to vie and push their way in to running DC Films. We heard it multiple times. The hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change, he would say. But did it ever really change? I mean, think about it. Even when Black Adam came out, it was a decent film, but he didn't showcase this hierarchy of power that was going to really push forward in the DCEU. So what would have happened? What would have happened? Now, this article over at SlavsFreeTalk.com is fantastic. Go give it a read. I took some time. I did a good job with this. So go check it out. SlavsFreeTalk.com. Excellent read. But the release of Black Adam in 2022 sparked a considerable amount of debate among fans and critics alike. And one of the key figures in the conversation was Dwayne Johnson. He was trying to make a move in taking over the DC film side of Warner Brothers. And to do this, he tried to bring in Henry Cavill. Now, I'm not going to get into the intricacies of what happened to Henry Cavill and what led to him ultimately being recast. But he thought, Dwayne Johnson, $7 Production, after hearing the outcry of fans at San Diego Comic-Con in 2022 and seeing some of the hashtags on social media, that bringing Henry Cavill back would help boost Black Adam and have better ticket sales and make this film bigger than what it could have been originally. But it didn't work out that way. But what was the plan? Because would we have supported what The Rock was going to do? That is the big question. Would the Snyderverse fans, would the DC fans, the DCEU fans, the fans now that are excited for James Gunn's DCU, would all of us have come together and said, you know what? Let's get behind what The Rock is cooking. Anyway, so what was he going to do? Well, again, he wanted to be front and center. Again, the hierarchy of power in the DC universe will change. That's his catchphrase. That is the line that he kept using. But he wanted to fight Superman. He wanted to be the forefront of this universe. He did not want to share the stage with anybody. Sure, he understood that you had to have Superman, you had to have Batman, you had to have your cyborgs, your Aquamans, whatever. He understood that had to be part of DC. That is DC. But the thing he didn't understand, that Black Adam isn't really the forefront of DC Comics or DC lore. That's something he never understood. Heck, we got that whenever he didn't even want to have Shazam pop up in his movie. He didn't even want to be part of Shazam 2 in a post-credit scene. He didn't even understand that Black Adam is a big part of Shazam lore. So would everybody have supported this? Not to mention that we bring in Henry Cavill, which is all fine and dandy. Henry Cavill coming into the DCEU again would have been fantastic. I'm a huge Henry Cavill fan, as Superman specifically, and I was all for it. But here's the thing. Henry Cavill wanted a brighter, a more vibrant, a more hopeful Superman than that of what Zack Snyder was creating. And that's not to say that Zack Snyder wasn't going to eventually get there. I understand that. A lot of people do understand that. But the fact of the matter is this. Eventually, that's what we would have gotten. Henry Cavill and the larger audience wanted it now. Henry Cavill worked out a script and a movie pitch with Christopher McQuarrie, his director from Mission Impossible Fallout. And they pitched it to Warner Brothers. It was going to connect to their Green Lantern Corps movie, actually, at one point in time. But they kind of just said, nah, no thanks. And because of that, they decided, you know what? We're just going to not pursue it anymore. Christopher McQuarrie and Henry Cavill, that is. When Dwayne Johnson came a-calling to Henry Cavill, he said, sure. He said, sure, let's do this. Let's do this thing. Let's see what we can do with this. And I'm sure there was a part of Henry Cavill that thought, finally, I can do what I want to do, be this hopeful Superman. He even stated himself that he went back and decided to do the little spit curl and the brighter suit in the post-credit scene of Black Adam. They utilized the John Williams music to differentiate itself from the Zack Snyder stuff to showcase the more hopeful and vibrant tone. We weren't going to get the Zack Snyder verse. We weren't going to get a continuation of that. So my question to all of you today, would we be sitting here, some of us defending The Rock and Henry Cavill, while others are attacking The Rock and Henry Cavill? It's a very interesting question, because those same people who are attacking James Gunn and Peter Safran and David Corenswet and Rachel Brosnahan and all the cast and crew of Superman 2025, would they be attacking Dwayne Johnson and Henry Cavill? These people who sit there and say they love Henry Cavill and they want him back as Superman, but it was loud and clear that they didn't want that Superman. It's a very, very interesting topic of discussion. Again, head over to slavsfreetalk.com. Check out this article. I kind of explained it a little bit better there about the intricacies of what Dwayne Johnson was planning and what he wanted to do, as well as what Henry Cavill wanted to do. Again, it's not the Snyderverse. Neither one of them intended to do the Snyderverse. That's not what they wanted to do. Dwayne Johnson wanted to go off and be the hierarchy. He wanted to change the hierarchy of the DC universe. He wanted to be front and center. Henry Cavill wanted to be vibrant, bright, hopeful as Superman. Very different than what a lot of the Snyderverse fans wanted. Very interesting topic. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you hit that like button, hit subscribe. Look, I'd be forever grateful if you just become a Slavs Geek Talk member. $2.99 a month to become a member, to support my channel. It would be amazing if you did that. $2.99 a month. Support us. Not only that, but you will get member exclusive videos. You get cool little stickers and stuff you can put on my live shows and stuff like that. Be forever grateful if you did that. It would be amazing. Again, hit that like button, hit subscribe, share this around, and I want to hear your thoughts on this whole topic because I think it's really interesting. I would love to understand and get in depth with what would happen if Dwayne Johnson and $7 Production would have taken over the DC film side. Would we be sitting here today having this same debate like we're having the debate with the Snyderverse fans about Gunn and Peter Safran in the DCU? It's interesting. Let me know your thoughts. I'll talk with all of you later.